Alright, what's going on YouTube? We're back with some more Baldur's Gate 3 mod videos. This is going to be part 2 of the Shinobi Class Mod that I showcased about a day or two ago. If you're watching this in early access, I really do appreciate you guys' direct support through channel membership. It directly does help out the channel. If you're interested in the future, I'll be trying to upload more videos in early access. They all will be released to the channel. I'm not going to be withholding any special videos, but you'll be able to see them a couple of days early as I make them and post them. So if you want to support that, you can check out the link down below, or I believe there's like a join icon, and it's as little as 99 cents, and that gives you access to videos when I upload them early. So anyway, going on to Indra's path, which is going to be Sasuke's path for the flavor text. The reincarnation of Indra, a formidable shinobi renowned for their unmatched prowess and complex persona. Gifted with the Sharingan and later the Rinnegan, they possess extraordinary visual abilities that grant them heightened perception and ability to master a wide range of jutsu. Their immense potential legacy as one of the most powerful shinobi in history are undeniable. So we get the same subclass feature. Let's say we have Uchiha blood, which essentially just gives us access to things like the Sharingan and the Mangekyu Sharingan, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. You also get an action and 2 cantrips. The first action is going to be the activate Sharingan. Activate the Sharingan to copy opponent's jutsu and send them back to them. Grant vision through any darkness. Perceive the slightest nuances in your opponent to read their thoughts, and reveal all invisible enemies in the area around you. This also reflects certain abilities. Now, I have tested this with Ashura's path to see if they reflect like the Rasengan and stuff like that. It doesn't reflect the Rasengan. I believe it does reflect other spells, which are classified as jutsu. It also does deflect ranged attacks, so we'll demonstrate that when we do the ability showcase. But the Sharingan does have a couple of features into it. You also get 2 cantrips. The first one's going to be Chidori. Charge forward and strike with the enemy with the fist crackling with lightning, sending a shockwave through their body. If Asuras reincarnation is within 6 meters, they share the chakra with you, temporarily cloaking you in Nine-Tails chakra. And so Nine-Tails chakra, we saw earlier, is the Nine-Tails chakra that essentially the Naruto class gets, which gives them a more of a frenzied state, a more of a beefed up power-up state. Now, I don't know if this causes the madness that's at the beginning stages. I don't think it does. I think you just get that extra amount of damage and defense. We also get Firestar Fireball Jutsu, which is basically just your basic Fireball. It does get more powerful as you level up, and there are going to be other variations of this Fireball Jutsu as well. At level 4, at level 4 we get Slow Fall, which is common. We've got the other subclass. We get a new cantrip, Firestyle Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Does 1d8 fire damage, but allows you to split off into 3 different targets. This will also increase as you level up in terms of damage. And again, with the feats, I'm not going to go over the feats just because they're pretty self-explanatory, whichever feats you want to pick up. I'm always going to recommend either Alert or Ability Improvement to start off with, but again, feats are more of user's choice, so that's really don't go over them too often. At level 5, we get extra attack and we get a new cantrip. It's going to be Firestyle Upgraded Fireball Jutsu. This does 6 to 36 points of damage. Shoot a bright flame from your fingers that explodes upon contact, torturing everything nearby in the vicinity. So imagine this is your actual like fireball, but bigger, does more damage, takes a little bit more chakra. This will also increase in damage as you level up as well. Alright, at level 6, we get the class feature Evasion. It's pretty self-explanatory. We also get a new action. This is the Activate Mangekyu Sharingan. Now, it's kind of hard to determine what the Mangekyu Sharingan actually does. It still has the same benefits of the regular Sharingan. I think it's just a little bit more potent. I'm going to try and see if I can dig for a little bit more information, because it was kind of hard to find any on the actual mod page itself. But I believe the Mangekyu Sharingan, again, just kind of enhances the regular Sharingan. I don't know if there's any particular drawback, like in the actual show. From the flavor text, I don't see any. So it'd probably just be more prominent to use the Mangekyu Sharingan over the regular Sharingan. A second action that you get is the ability to disable Amaterasu Flames, which we're going to get into that with the cantrips, because unlike the other subclass, Ashura subclass, we actually get to choose a couple of cantrips as we level up. We'll have access to all of them by the time we get to level 12, but you get to pick and choose which ones you want to start off with first. So, going over each one of the cantrips. The first one's going to be Amaterasu. Engulf a target in internal flames. The flames from any ability using Amaterasu Flame is done over time, meaning that until the target dies or until you dismiss it, they will continue to take 1 to 10 fire damage each turn. You also have Vernal Style Flame Control, which allows you to control the Amaterasu flames in a line to create a wall of internal flames. This ability applies Amaterasu, dealing an additional 1d10 fire damage per turn forever. As I mentioned before, Amaterasu lasts essentially until you die. I believe the Infernal Style Flame Control will also lasts until either they break concentration or until you dismiss the flames. We get Kamui, which decimates and banishes one enemy, does 81 to 90 force damage, which is pretty strong early on at level 6. It does take 5 chakra points to use, though, so it is a big chakra resource. The next one is Koto Matsukami, which allows you to place a single target under a genjutsu, subtly convincing them to join your side. So essentially, this allows you to take control of one enemy until long rest or until they die. And then we have Tsukiyomi. Place a single target under a genjutsu, forcing them to endure a terrible fate. This lasts for 10 turns, and you take 4 to 16 psychic damage. It incapacitates the enemy and prevents them from moving. So essentially, they're going to be stuck there until your concentration fails or until you dismiss the jutsu. You can select each one of these up until level 12, so it doesn't really matter which one we select first. You can select all of them and have all of the abilities when you reach max level. At level 7, we get the unarmored movement, which you already explained earlier in a past video. We also get the new cantrip, Kirin. This deals a lightning strike to all targets within range, deals 24 to 68 points of lightning damage, costs 3 chakra. And again, we get to select our second cantrip here, which is going to kind of be the standard thing that we get for each level up, so I'm not going to go over each selection of the cantrip. At level 8, we get a new cantrip, and this is going to be Blaze Release, Great Fireball Technique. Coat a fireball, jutsu, and internal flames. This applies the Amaterasu effect, dealing 1 to 10 fire damage per turn forever. So again, this allows you not only do point fire damage, but also mix in the Amaterasu within that fireball, which any target that's hit by it are also going to be hit with the Amaterasu debuff, which is essentially 1 to 10 fire damage per turn. So level 9, we get the class feature of Advanced Unarmored Movement, which again we already explained in the past video. We get a new action, Activate Internal Mangekyu Sharingan. Activate the internal Mangekyu Sharingan until your next long rest. Now again, in-game it doesn't really describe what the internal Mangekyu Sharingan does. Again, I think it's just a more enhanced power-up version of the Sharingan in terms of like gameplay mechanics, so you'll have a better chance of copying jutsus, reflecting jutsus, and ranged attacks, things like that. So I'll try and do a little bit of testing to see what it does affect. It doesn't affect. I'll just summon Gale and have them do a couple of magic abilities to kind of see if it works the way that I'm thinking it works. At level 10, we get access to the Rinnegan. And again, unfortunately, doesn't really give you much flavor text of what the Rinnegan does, not even in the in-game description. I think that's probably one of the drawbacks of this particular mod. I do like what the mod does, and I love how faithful it is to some of the abilities, but the description doesn't really tell what the ability does for like the visual prowess and stuff like that. So I think there is going to be an update, some flavor text to actually explain what the Mangekyu Sharingan and the Rinnegan actually does in game. I think that'd be a lot more helpful for people that are interested in playing this class. At level 11, we get the same class features that we got at level 11 with the Azura Path. So just kind of give you a brief overview of those, which is the 6-path chakra boost and the unarmored movement. And then we get a new action, which is going to be Susanoo Armor, which we kind of briefly looked at in the last video. Gain a protective shell of Susanoo. You gain resistance, increase armor stats. Anything near you becomes scorched by the eternal flames of Amaterasu. If Asura's reincarnation stays within 6 meters, they will also cloak you in Kurama chakra mode, which we showcased that a little bit in the last video. We'll demonstrate that again because it is one of the main features of the Shinobi Class Mod when you both are playing with the Indra and Azura Path. And finally, at level 12, we get one last cantrip, which is going to be the Indra's Arrow. Unleash the ultimate lightning chakra weapon formed from the wrath of the gods themselves. Indra's Arrow pierces the sky and devastates all in its path with unstoppable force. The Arrow of Destruction tears through all forms of defense. Creatures struck with Indra's Arrow suffer from shattered armor, reducing their target's defense. Target's armor class is reduced by 5. So this is a really good starting ability too, as it decreases their armor class to make it a little bit easier for other characters to hit as well. It does take 7 chakra to use. And again, same thing with the Azura Path. You can take this up to level 20 if you wish. However, the only thing you'll get with the increased levels is overall increased health, so I'm not going to showcase that in the video. Alright, so I have Gale summoned here with a couple of magic abilities, and we're just going to try and test out a couple to see exactly how the Sharingan works. Now, I already activated the Sharingan. Takes a bonus action in 1 chakra. The Sharingan is active, allowing you visible prowess over your foes, allow you to read people's thoughts, see through magical and natural darkness, reveal hidden enemies, and redirect projectiles. So, in theory,
at the ready.
We'll go ahead and just do a basic firebolt. And that does deflect back, so we don't actually copy the ability. essentially we just recast it to an enemy. Now, I don't know exactly to the extent of which this goes on. We'll try and do a little bit more testing to see exactly what spells are constitute as projectile spells, which I assume most of them are. We actually do have some modded ones as well, because I do want to test out exactly what the Sharingan, Mangekyu and Sharingan, and the Rinnegan do. So give me 1 second. Alright, so we summoned our Chad here so we can have a couple more bonus turns and bonus actions and stuff like that. So we already tested it with Firebolt. I'd imagine possibly Ray of Frost also works under this. So it does. Okay, so Ray of Frost is also considered a projectile that is reduced back. Gale, you'll be fine. So we'll test out a couple more abilities here. So we still have the Sharingan active for 8 turns. Back up a little bit here. And so let's go ahead and try out a modded ability, which is the Arcane Ordnance Fire. Now, it looks like it is a ranged ability projectile, but it's like a lobbed one that has an area of effect, so I'm curious. So it is reflected back. Okay, so even modded spells, and by extension, arrows are also reflected back. So that's how the regular Sharingan seems to work. Now, again, I don't know exactly how the Mangekyu Sharingan works, because this does last until the next long rest, which seems to replace the regular Mangekyu Sharingan. So, if we activate this, we have the Mangekyu Sharingan now, which, again, unfortunately doesn't really give us any flavor text to go off of what this actually is. So, by theory is that, like the regular Sharingan, you still have the properties of the just like the Sharingan, you have the same properties, which is able to see invisible creatures. You can see hidden items and things like that. And you also deflect projectiles. So we're going to try this again. And we'll have Gale throw another fireball or something. Alright, so let's go ahead and have him throw Ordnance Lightning to see if this actually deflects as well. No. Okay. So the Mangekyu Sharingan doesn't activate the same thing like the regular Sharingan. So I think that's my confusion with this mod, and I know I'm just kind of rambling a little bit, but it doesn't seem like the Mangekyu Sharingan also works like the regular Sharingan. So I think that's something that I may be just missing in the flavor text. Hopefully, maybe the creator of the mod can actually explain the difference between like the Mangekyu Sharingan and the Rinnegan as well. So I'm actually going to activate the Rinnegan and see if there's any difference with that as well. Because as far as I can see, there's no real changes, or you don't really get any other abilities that come with the Mangekyu Sharingan. So kind of like looking to it, let's see. We do get Kamui React, which is something I didn't see earlier. Phase out of reality using Kamui, allowing attacks to pass through you without harm. Now, maybe this is something that activates specifically with the Mangekyu Sharingan. We can check this here in a second. Okay, so we reloaded the game, and we haven't activated the Mangekyu Sharingan, which it looks like it does actually give you the reaction that we saw earlier. We can't activate the Rinnegan unless we're in combat. But activating the internal Mangekyu Sharingan, as we can see, and then going back to our abilities, which going to be K here. We don't really get any new abilities here. We don't get really any new passive. But, however, what we do get was you get a new reaction, which is the Kamui React. Phase out of reality using Kamui, allowing attacks to pass through you without harm. So this actually takes a chakra point, and it's a reaction. So an attack that comes near you, assuming it can only be from an NPC attack, we can actually try this. Let's see.
Let's get going.
Maybe we do like a basic attack here.
No time for mercy.
Okay, so it doesn't seem to work with ally attacks, so it may just work with enemy attacks for that reaction to take place. But we actually do get something, it seems like, from the Mangekyu Sharingan. Again, it would be nice to have that in actual flavor text to get a general understanding, which means probably the Rinnegan also has something that activates within the skills and common skills and stuff like that, so we'll check that out here in a second. All right, so we summon our Chad here. It's going to be our testing dummy here. So we're going to take a look at the Rinnegan, which can only be activated during battle and once per battle. All right, so we have the Rinnegan. And so again, it doesn't really tell us what it does in the description in the hotbar here. So going into our common and reactions, we still don't get any other common or reaction based things. So again, it's a little confusing to kind of see what it does. Okay, never mind. Actually, here we go. Rinnegan. Use the potential of the Rinnegan to bend space and time to your will. Okay, so this one actually does, so I apologize for that. So this one actually does give you actual abilities, so that's cool. The Mangekyu Sharingan doesn't do that. So the first we have is the Rinnegan Push. Push an enemy and do damage. Okay, so that's good. So the Rinnegan actually does have some features unlike the Mangekyu Sharingan. So the second, we have the Rinnegan Pull. Third, we have the Rinnegan Wave, which essentially is a shortwave version of what we've done so far. So, allows us to push multiple enemies, if we so choose.
Another fight. Let's go.
And then we also have Rinnegan Black Hole, pull all enemies and deal damage. So we can pull in multiple enemies into the black hole. And then finally we have Rinnegan Almighty, which essentially is the Almighty Push. So cool. So we actually do get quite a bit of Rinnegan abilities that we can use. So I apologize for my previous statement. When I was doing earlier testing, I didn't see that with the Rinnegan. The Mangekyu Sharingan still doesn't actually show like what active abilities that you get other than the new reaction, so I would still like to see a update of the flavor text with that. Anyway, we've already showcased the Sharingan and what it does. So you get the clone technique if you choose to hit in Leaf Village, which I'll show that. Which he just kind of gives us a clone variation. You don't really get too much, just like a Sharingan in the main hand attack, so I really say it's probably one of the weaker ones, so I wouldn't really want to utilize the clone technique, but as you can see, that's what it looks like. Going on from there, Flicker Step, again, it's just your Misty Step, gets you 12 meters. It's free to use for bonus action. And then first we have Fireball Jutsu, which again is just like Firebolt. Pretty standard, does standard amount of damage, costs 1 chakra. We have the Fire Style Upgraded Fireball Jutsu, which is essentially your big fireball. And then we have Amaterasu. This allows us to attack at a small area. And as you can see, from last time we kind of demonstrated this early, one of the conditions, which is the Eternal Flames, which every turn until death or until you dismiss it, which we can dismiss, they will take 1 to 10 points of fire damage. So you can move Amaterasu as well as a bonus action. So say there's another creature here that you want to hit. Boom, Amaterasu. You can also move that to someone else. You can also dismiss the Amaterasu if you want. So now they're no longer affected by Amaterasu, but you can also just recast that. Next we have Infernal Style Flame Control, which again is just our sweeping fire here. Now, unfortunately, there isn't any visual effects. Now, this could be my game, and I'm going to try and, like, uninstall a couple of other mods. Because it could be my game with the visual effects, because I believe there should be some fire effects there, but it's not showing. So I'll definitely check on that to kind of see if that's the case. We have Blaze Release Great Fireball Technique, which, again, allows us to cast Fireball Jutsu with the Amaterasu Flame effect, just to kind of show that again, that it actually does apply. We remove the are you stuck in Eternal Flames, but if he wasn't, essentially what we can do, cast that, and then they will be stuck with the Amaterasu debuff. Kamui. Pretty simple. Banish him for 5 turns. Does good amount of force damage as well. So we'll go ahead and skip the turns, and we'll get back to showing the rest of the abilities here. Alright, so showcasing the rest of the abilities here. We already did Kamui. We have to take a short rest, so it is balanced out. Same thing with the Koto Matsukami. Essentially, this is going to allow us to turn a foe into an ally. We'll try and use it with the Chad here, which is probably going to automatically dismiss him, but we'll give it a shot and see. Okay, well, there you go. So, if we take a look at the conditions here, Genjutsu Koto Matsukami, bend the mind of a person to join your side. So now, technically, he is an ally. So, if we want,
Still breathing, despite everything.
and this may work because it is a mod. Okay, so now we actually have an allied version of our Chad here, which is essentially our testing dummy. So
Can't even
the
get
effect
to
does
the
work, and it lasts until next long rest. So then we have Tsukiyomi, what you see there does cause him the stun and gives us 2 new conditions. Genjutsu Tsukiyomi incapacitates the enemy and prevents them from moving, and then every turn does for the 16 psychic damage. So you can stack on that with other abilities again, such as Amaterasu. So now they're stuck with the Amaterasu and the Tsukiyomi. So they're taking damage each turn. Definitely builds up. Chidori, we'll show that next. So there you go. So you actually have to pass through the target for it to activate. You can't actually just do it on the target itself. So keep in mind when using Chidori. So it also does give you the shocking grasp condition, which they can't take reaction, so that's pretty convenient. Phoenix Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. As you see, as you increase in levels, you can cast more projectiles of the attack. Which again, they're not taking much damage now, but essentially, it's a good way to build up that damage or attack multiple enemies at a time. Next up is Kieran, which is going to break our Tsukiyomi. Pretty standard lightning strike. And then we have Indra's arrow. Now again, while the effects might not be super spectacular in terms of like they are in the anime, I still think the overall theme of them is really good. They did fail the saving throw, so as you see there, we have Indra's Wrath, which decreases the armor class by 5, which is very strong, so now their AC is 6. And then finally, we have the Susanoo armor. Which gives us the Chakra Avatar Susanoo armor, which gives us both the Kurama Chakra mode and Susanoo armor. Again, Susanoo armor just kind of increases our armor class, gives us resistance, and the nearby enemies are supposed to be scorched with the Eternal Flames of Amaterasu. However, that doesn't seem to be working. It could be that they're already tagged with Amaterasu, which is why it's not working. And again, I'll check and see if maybe there's something with my game to where the visual effects aren't happening, because I do believe that the Infernal Style Flame Control is supposed to show some visual effects, but I'll do some testing and I'll update you guys either in the video or in the comment section down below. Other than that, I mean, we have things like such Sneak Attack, which pretty standard. And then we have the Martial Arts, which I completely butchered that and missed, but regardless, you get those actions and abilities as well. And then the Shuriken is the same thing that we saw earlier. Again, this just allows you to throw a Shuriken, and if you hit, they're attacked with the Flying Raijin Seal, which then allows our other character to be able to combo into it. So but that's going to do it for the Shinobi class, the Indra subclass mod showcase. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. I don't think it's really necessary to do a combat scenario with the moves. I think you can kind of see for yourself what all they do. And again, I'll follow up either in the comment section down below, or I'll do a separate video to kind of see if maybe the effects are just something on my end. Because this isn't the first mod that I've been showcasing that does have some issues with some of the visual effects, so I'll update you guys on that as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you subscribe to Early Access, I really do appreciate you guys for that. I'll try and upload more videos into Early Access that didn't come out until the full version, so if you want to support the channel through channel memberships, again, it's as low as 99 cents. That does help out the channel greatly. I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Love you all.